Hello, 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 and welcome to my Hard to Kill pay per view review. Impact Wrestling, big pay per view tonight. Lot going on in this show. I should say a lot really going on in this show tonight for Impact as a lot of big stuff going on, especially the main event everybody's been talking about for over the past month or two now. What is going to happen on Hard to Kill tonight, folks? A lot, I should say. Now, before I do begin this review and whatnot, there's one thing I want to say. Obviously, I am back doing a solo review on this. Listen, it was going to be a double review for Hard to Kill. My friend really wanted to do it, but unfortunately, conflicting schedules have happened, and he could not be able to do the review tonight. He wanted to do this review for Hard to Kill. He wanted to get back into Impact Wrestling. Like I said, it's not like he hasn't watched it, but he was really looking forward to reviewing the show. But like I said, stuff happens, and unfortunately, he was not going to be able to do it. So hopefully, maybe the next review, he will be back on to review whatever next wrestling pay per view we do review at that point. But yeah, we're going to be doing a solo one for this tonight for Hard to Kill. I did watch the pre-show. It's not a lot to say from it other than Madison Rain, Scott D'Amore, and John Burton on the pre-show part of the pre-show part, well, the pre-show panel, I should say, of the show. Basically going over the card throughout tonight. We did get a pre-show match though between Josh Alexander and Brian Myers. Not much I can say from this. Brian Myers did pick up the win right here as Josh Alexander put him in an ankle lock, but Brian Myers pulled his headgear down, basically, covering his eyes and then hitting a big clothesline on him, which Brian Myers did get the win. Like I said, Brian Myers has been picking up a lot of wins right now on Impact, so don't know where it's going, but I'll say he looks more or less of a goof than he was in WWE when the guy was just jobbing everybody at that point in time. But going on from there, I know they had Ace Austin on the panel. Basically, he's the Super X Cup winner and saying, why wasn't he on the card tonight and whatnot. So he just basically boasted about how he won. Because even I'm sure why wasn't he on his card tonight when you think about it, but we'll get into that later. But there's one thing to say before we do get into the main part of the show that Madison Rain has announced her retirement from Impact Wrestling. Now, this does kind of transition going to the main show, a little bit of pre-show too. Obviously, we have a new commentary team in town of Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown, which honestly is it's a fresh breath of air to hear Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown on commentary. Okay, obviously Josh Matthews and Madison Rain are not on commentary anymore. Josh Matthews I think he was promoted to like senior producer. So honestly, that's a huge upgrade to me for the commentary table because I'm sure everybody got tired of Josh Matthews at this point in time because every comment I see, they do not want to hear Josh Matthews and they just find him very, 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 very annoying. So, yeah, I'm glad they brought Matt Striker back, and now he is like permanently on commentary. D'Lo, give him some time. He was good tonight. We'll get into it later on about their commentary also, but both of these two did really good tonight. I just think it's a breath of fresh air. Madison Rain, I didn't know what she was gonna be doing. I'm sure she'll be an agent or something in the back, but like I said, she's been with the company for over 12 years right now, over 12 years now at this point. I'm sure people say she's going to go to WWE, she's going to wrestle somewhere else. I don't know, because I remember she went to Ring of Honor for a short time, but then she ended up coming back to Impact anyways, after disputes over there. So I don't know what's going to happen with Madison Rain next. But, like I said, she said she was excited to see the future of this division rise and whatnot. So, yeah, good on her and whatnot. So, best wishes and good luck in retirement or whatever she's going to do in the future. I would say she was better than Josh on commentary. She wasn't that bad. So, because I'm sure everybody says she was better than Josh Matthews on commentary and whatnot. So, uh, yeah, folks, we now get to Hard to Kill, or as Matt Striker likes to say, the biggest night in our sport. He kept saying almost 1,000 times throughout this show. I thought Bound for Glory was your biggest pay-per-view, but hey, Hard to Kill is still a big pay-per-view tonight also. But we do get into the main show. We kick it off with the return of Decay, Rosemary, and Crazy Steve. I know it's no Abyss, but it was both of them versus Tennille Dashwood and Caleb Conley. Caleb with the K, I should say. A good match to kick off the show, which ended up with Rosemary and Crazy Steve going over. Crazy Steve spitting the green mist into what was it? Tennille, and Rosemary spit some mist into Caleb's face, which Crazy Steve hit the big DDT on him for the win, or it's like tornado DDT from the middle rope to get the pinfall. So it's good to see the K back. I hope they keep it this way because I didn't really like where Rosemary and Crazy Steve were going. Kind of this point in time right now, Rosemary, which they had her do a lot of different stuff. It's not even the same Rosemary. So, hope, like I said, we got Decay Rosemary back, so that's good. Crazy Steve looked like he was trying to be more of his menagerie gimmick than he was his Decay gimmick. I don't know if they'll ever bring a third person into the group, especially without an Abyss, unless they found another monster to bring in there. I don't know, but I'm just glad to see that Decay is back and they have the logo. So, it is cool that Decay is back. I'm good with that. Next, we got a 6-man tag. Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, and Cousin Jake versus Eric Young, Joe Doring, and Diener, which they are now going by the name now of Violent by Design, which is pretty good. I'll say that. Cool name. Um, Good 6-man. A lot of crazy hardcore stuff going out throughout this match, too. Not bad at all. Of course, you got the thumbtacks, and, Tommy Dreamer ended up throwing Eric Young onto it or back body dropping him into it and whatnot. But Eric Young, I know he hit what did he do? He hit that cousin Jake with the hockey mask that he usually wears and whatnot. Eric Young ended up in like the power driver onto cousin Jake for the win. So a good 6-man for almost about 10 minutes out there, I should say. Not bad, not bad at all. So with the repackage of Cody Deaner, which is pretty good, so I'll say that. I don't know. I know some say they need to repackage Jake, and even I have friends that'll tell me that Cousin Jake has potential, or Jake Diener. He's got potential. It's just he needs to get out of this gimmick. He could become a single star, which hopefully they do something with it. But he's got to get out of the whole hillbilly gimmick and whatnot, and give him something else. He needs a repackaging, I should say, for Jake Diener. So we'll see where that goes. But Eric Young's crew, I like the name Violent by Design, and we'll see where this goes. Next, Rich Swann and Chris Sabin were in the back. As we all know, that Alex Shelley, unfortunately, would not be able to wrestle tonight's main event. He had a injury, unavoidable circumstances. I don't really know what the injury is. I'm sure some people thought he had COVID, but he does not. So he was replaced with Moose. So we're not getting the Motor City Machine Guns and Swan. So we got Moose and Swan and Sabin. As Moose came through the door, basically saying, he would die for his teammates and whatnot. But, we've been opponents, but tonight we're going to kick our opponent's ass, and we are not going to play any games here tonight. So we are going to be a team. Next, though, we did get Havoc and Nevaeh versus Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Are they going by Fire and Flavor now? And the finals of the Knockouts Tag Tournament to crown the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Very good match, I should say. I enjoyed this. I guess Havoc was just throwing folks everywhere with the double fallaway slam and whatnot. Just a lot of crazy stuff going on in this match. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, though, basically took down Nevaeh after throwing Havoc out the ring. Basically, Kiera Hogan getting a big kick on her, and then the Fisherman Buster suplex for the win, and which I'm glad this team won because I wanted them to win. Fire and Flavor are now the new Knockouts Tag Team champions now. Gail Kim and Madison Rain, basically almost like a pass on the torch right here, presenting the new tag belts to Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz as all four of them hugged each other and they celebrated with the title. So I'm glad they won the match because I've been wanting Kiera and Tasha Steelz to win from the beginning. I'm like, they gotta win this whole tournament. Like they have to. So I'm glad I got my prediction right here. Fire and I like the name Fire and Flavor though. That's a good tag. That's a good tag name. I will say it was kind of hard to see who was really the faces and the heels here because aren't both of these teams really heel? And once again, Havoc and Nevaeh end up losing to Tasha and Kiera. Right, I swear it's like maybe 3-4 times they've already beaten them at this point. So some actually thought Havoc and Nevaeh were gonna go over. You probably would have thought that, but hey, Kiera and Tasha go over. I got no problem with that. I'm not gonna lie. I got a pop to them. Like, all right, that's what I like to see. They are the new tag champs, so we'll see where this goes. So that's one really good decision that I did like tonight from Hard to Kill. New Knockouts Tag Champions. Kiera and Tasha right there. But moving on, no. Next, Ace Austin came out. Ace Austin came out basically saying, "Why am I not on the card?" He called out Scott D'Amore. He wanted to be in that X Division title match. Basically, Scott D'Amore says it's too late for that. But I do have a match for you. You have an opponent tonight, and he's ready right now. And who do we get to face Ace Austin? Oh wait, hold on. Let me do this. I gotta do this. It's it's oh boy, it's not Excalibur. I know I'm trying to do Excalibur impression, but oh no, it's Matt Cardona. It's Matt Cardona. It's Matt Cardona. Oh, gives a crap. It's Matt Cardona. Oh man, Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona. Okay, I'm gonna try to be serious about this. Okay, I am. Matt Cardona. Now, the last time we saw Matt Cardona was in AEW. First off, it wasn't much of a match. Basically, ended up in a DQ. Fulton interfered, which I'm kind of glad to have because I don't think Ace Austin needs to lose to anybody that just came into the company right now. Now, Matt Cardona was just in AEW, which he was only there for like 3 matches, if I remember, or he was on like what a paper appearance deal. And I remember when he came in AEW and people thought he was gonna set the world on fire. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, Zack Ryder was like what a Mick Carter, maybe somewhat lower Mick Carter for almost 10 freaking years in the WWE, which he was over at one point. Yes, he was. But after that, he peaked after that. Now, with him being gone from WWE, some people actually thought he was going to become the world champion in AEW or he was going to be this big star to change the ratings. And I don't think he'll change anything right here in Impact. Maybe he will have more time, I don't know, to reinvent himself since I don't know what the status of his contract is or what he is doing in Impact Wrestling. But to also add that Brian Myers, his former tag partner, is in the company too. So could we get the Major Brothers slash Hawkins and Ryder reunion type of thing and add another tag team? Because they do need another tag team in this company right now, since we'll get in the one tag team that's probably done in this company at this point. We'll get into that later, but maybe they could reform them or have Matt. I don't know what they could have Matt Cardona do, but I'm sure people just look at him like, dude, it's Zack Ryder. Is he really going to move the needle? I don't know. Now, if the guy reinvents himself and does something great or something, then maybe we'll see what comes from this. But it's just as soon as I saw him come out, I just had to do it's Matt Cardona. It's Matt Cardona. That's my new catchphrase now. It's Matt Cardona. But in all seriousness, no. We'll see where this goes. But I can't say I'm that hyped about him. No, even when he showed up in AEW, I was kind of like, okay, it's Zack Ryder. How far is this really gonna go? And it didn't really go that far in AEW. So we'll see what he does in Impact. I'm gonna try to give this a chance. I know I'm shitting on the guy right now, but I'm going to try to see where this goes. Okay, but at least this was a good. I'll say it was at least kind of a good surprise for him to show up on the pay-per-view tonight for Hard to Kill. So yeah, folks, it's Matt Cardona. Who? I'm sure people wonder like, who the hell is Matt Cardona? Unless they know it's Zack Ryder. So going on from that though, X Division title on the line. Manik, Chris Bay, Rohit Raju, triple threat. Probably one of the best matches on the card. Very enjoyable. Some would say maybe the best of the night. I liked it. Now, the whole pulling the face off of with a mask off of Manik just to show it's TJP with now face paint on. I don't know if he was trying to like Darby Allin or something, but he tried to look like the Joker for some reason when Rohit pulled his mask off, and then the guy just starts rallying, just doing this whole fire comeback in, and just hitting like tornado DDTs all over the place. I did like when he was about to go for the Mamba Splash, and Chris Bay hit him with like a cutter in midair. But Manik doing a big crucifix bomb for the pinfall. Still didn't work. Manic ended up hitting his Mamba Splash. Raju ended up hitting like a running knee off of Manic, then tried to go for the pin on Chris Bay, but it still did not work. Basically, Manic ended up rolling up Rohit for the pinfall then, so I'm glad Chris Bay didn't take the pinfall right here, but Rohit got pinned. He basically looked at Manic then, all pissed off, as Manic was able to still retain the X Division title. So, yes, folks, TJP Manic, whatever you want to call him, is still the champion. But the whole face paint thing didn't really kind of hide his identity, too. So, it's like, okay, he pulled his mask off, but now he's got face paint to cover it. So, I don't think that was really going to work. Eddie Edwards told Alicia to stay in the back tonight, for the whole barbed wire massacre match coming up. So, he told her, promised her not to come out. Next, Diana Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie for the Knockouts Championship. Decay was out there with Taya as Kimberly and Susan was out there with Diana. Now, short time in this match, basically everybody almost basically brawled with each other as the referee threw everybody out, which for some reason Susan started filming the whole thing on her camera phone. Basically, D'Lo Brown called her a Karen. I'm sure everybody knows what a Karen is, which we all know what those are. Okay, they really should get the shit slapped out of them for come on, we know what Karens are. Okay, they deserve a punch to the face. We all know they deserve a punch to the face. So I get why D'Lo Brown kept saying like get out of here, Karen, get out of here. I don't know what Susan's supposed to be. I thought she was supposed to be like some businesswoman lawyer thing, but apparently she must be a Karen now, just to grab the phone and immediately start recording in. But like I said, everybody was thrown out. This was still a good match, I would say. I'm surprised it didn't even get more time, but this was still good. Diana was able to get the pinfall, well, not pinfall, I should say, get the submission in clean, basically put her into the armbar, double locking it, which Taya could not get out of, and she ended up giving up. So Diana won basically a decisive win, no type of crazy shenanigans going on. Like I said, it was a good match. I was enjoying it, but at the same time, I'm not saying I wasn't waiting on something bigger to happen, but I actually thought they would have got maybe a little bit more time. I think Deanna's match, maybe before that, maybe the ones against Jordan Grace were a little bit better, but maybe this will continue. I don't know if this feud's gonna continue in that, but hey, Deanna got the clean win over Taya, made her submit, and whatnot. So good, I should say. Don't know where it's gonna go next, but yeah, Deanna is still the champion, and we'll see if there's a rematch in the future in that. But decisive win. The heels, like I said, the heel didn't need to cheat the win. Okay. I know they showed AC Romero talking to Johnny Bravo, saying who shot him. I don't really care. Next, we got, what did we get here? But yes, next, which guess I should be saying, this was 9 times out of 10 the final match of Ethan Page in Impact Wrestling, which it was Ethan Page versus the Karate Man, and this was basically a cinematic match. And I'm kind of glad it didn't go long either, okay? I will admit, I thought it was funny in a way, but basically, this was some Mortal Kombat level shit, okay? This was just green screen, and it's just Ethan Page fighting himself, and it was basically some Kumite, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, which their hands started glowing, and then the Karate Man basically performed a fatality on Ethan Page, killing him and walking away with this very weird music. So, yeah, this cinematic thing went on for at least like 2 minutes. So, I'm kind of glad this didn't really go on long. But this was 9 times out of 10 final match of Ethan Page in Impact Wrestling, because I think people already knew his contract was coming up, and this must have been the way to write him off. It is unfortunate that we did not get to see the North versus, I don't know, maybe FTR and AEW. I'm sure people wanted to see the North versus, I don't know, the Young Bucks or who else with this whole little merger partnership thing. Well, I should just say partnership. I'm sure people want to see FTR face a lot of tag, because the North is a really good team. So I don't know why they were going along with this Karate Man thing, but people knew Ethan Page's contract was coming up, and either A, at this point, he's most likely going to AEW or maybe WWE. I don't know, okay, but I believe this was the way to write him off, and they basically murdered him, or someone came up with this idea. Maybe he came up with this idea. I don't know, but this was basically some Mortal Kombat level stuff. Okay, so yeah, the Karate Man won. So in a way, at least it didn't go that long either. Next, Don Callis was in the back as he ran the moves, talking about his contract. He's got another couple years on it, and said, "Hey man, I know you're going after that title right now. You're being the TNA champion. You could be showing up on AEW trying to go for Omega's title. So why don't you think about that?" Guess he's trying to convince him to almost turn on his team tonight. Next, we got a barbed wire massacre match: Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan. Now, this is kind of a different barbed wire massacre. Before, barbed wire massacre matches usually see the ropes as barbed wire, but this was still a ring, but it had like one cage with some barbed wire on it, and it's like half the cage or half the ring just had different barbed wire on it from the rope, so like almost like a scaling of it, tied up. So it wasn't your regular barbed wire massacre match. The last time you even saw a barbed wire massacre, if I remember, was probably like 2-3 years ago with LAX and OVE, and it was one of those, what was it, too violent for TV. I remember they did it on Twitch, so they couldn't even show it. I think they were still on Pop TV. I don't know if it was still on Pop TV. I think they were still on there at the time. So yeah, that's when they did that barbed wire massacre match. It was really good. This one right here, I wasn't really sure going into this, given the Eddie Edwards and Callahan feud. I didn't really want to see it again, but this was not bad. I'm sure everybody's not going to be the biggest fan of this match, but both of these guys did go out there and work hard, nearly trying to kill each other, which they really did nearly kill each other. Because what? I know Eddie had wrapped some barbed wire around Callahan's head, making him bleed then. At one point, Eddie jumped out the ring, and Sammy Callahan threw like a barbed wire board into him, which Eddie went through it. Looked very brutal, by the way. Um, Callahan hit him with a big elbow then off of that. And then I remember he pulled like some barbed wire, which had like a Nintendo 64 controller to it, and started wrapping it around Eddie's head, making him bleed then right after. After that, I know Eddie hit up a big blue thunder bomb on like a barbed wire chair, which hit him with a 2 count after that. Sammy got up, started hitting him with barbed wire again, like it was a stick to it. Right after that, they went to the cage part of it then, and what happened right here? Like Callahan, like he threw him into the cage with that barbed wire on there again, and next thing you know, they both had like their weapons, the Kenny the Kendo stick and the baseball bat. So they trade each other for their usual weapons that they usually hold. Eddie Edwards hit Sammy Callahan first with his Kendo stick, wrapped in barbed wire twice. Then after that, um, pretty much taking him to the ground. But Sammy got Eddie put him on the top rope, but Sammy was able to knock him off the top rope, like hitting like the guillotine part. It was like a guillotine, like the barbed wire is like up here, right, almost 2 feet above like the ring and everything. So when Sammy knocked him, it like it almost hit Eddie's neck, kind of cutting him right there. So like I thought it was actually kind of brutal when he did that. But Sammy got more weapons in. He put a board in there and like some chairs to it. He ended up power driving Eddie Edwards through like the barbed wire boards, which he had a 2 count then. Sammy was able to get back up and fight back, but Eddie fought back. But yeah, Sammy got some chairs, and he start wrapping over Eddie Edwards' face, and was gonna hit him with the baseball bat, re-injuring his eye, but Eddie got out of it. He kicked Sammy in the balls then. He hit him with a Boston knee party with the chair into his face, but Sammy kicked out at one. Eddie basically hit a big emerald flosion onto the barbed wire board and chair. Basically, the announcer saying he did that for Misawa and everything, as Eddie won the match. This went almost like 20 minutes, so we never even saw Lucia Edwards come out. I'm surprised Ken Shamrock wasn't even out there. So I will say this, both guys worked really hard. They nearly killed each other out there, so this was some brutal stuff. I will say that. I wasn't really sure about walking into this and everything. Like I said, this is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I think this was very brutal match. This was not bad. I'm not even going to say it sucked, okay? It's just that the feud, I didn't really care about it again after the first time. I just felt like they rushed it in like what 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm like, really, we're gonna do a barbed wire massacre match? I'm like, as it really got up to this point, especially after you just renewed a feud that was like what 1 2 years ago. So I don't know why we really needed to have this type of match for this pay per view. But given this was a pay per view they were going for, I guess in a way I guess they had to, but I didn't really think they needed a barbed wire massacre match. But I like I said, I think both of these guys did really good out here and nearly killed each other. So yeah, Eddie Edwards getting the win, and Alicia went to check on him then after that. Next, they talked about the next pay per view coming up, basically in April. Rebellion. If hopefully Rebellion will be on pay per view this time, because let's remember when the whole coronavirus hit, there was no pay per view, and Rebellion ended up being like a 2 week event on Impact. But next, we did get the main event. Rich Swann, Moose, Chris Sabin, Team Impact versus Kenny Omega, Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows. Bullet Club, I should say, since they came out with Bullet Club gear. And I can't really say it's Team Impact versus Team AEW because it's only one AEW guy that is the actual champion. Now, I know some people are going to question, Bullet Club, but, by the way, Brian Hebner was on referee again. Surprised they brought him back. But it's not technically Bullet Club. And, shout to JT Dangerously for, kind of bringing me the quote from Tamatonga's podcast, because let's remember, and I've already addressed this a couple of times myself, also. It's not technically Bullet Club. And we've seen AEW and Impact, acknowledge, Kenny and Gallows and Anderson and the Bucks as Bullet Club, which they actually came out with Bullet Club gear on, okay? Now, I know Impact kind of works in New Japan, because we've seen Chris Bay in that, Super J Cup tournament, so they do have a bit of a partnership kind of going on with each other again. AEW, I'm not really sure all the way, even though there's been mentions of it. Come on, they even mentioned Ibushi as the double champion on the show tonight, but if you remember what Thomas said, it's like, hey, this is the same Kenny Omega that came to Bullet Club and kind of almost killed it with the Elite. And like I said, there was many subgroups within the Bullet Club that's why they had that, little Civil War thing, and Tama Tonga ended up kicking out. Let's remember, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks were kicked out of Bullet Club, also, Cody and Marty Skrull and Hangman Page and whatnot, but let's remember, they were kicked out of the Bullet Club. Now, Gallows and Anderson, I know they're like OGs of the group, especially Carl Anderson, who was in the first incarnation. They weren't ever really kicked out. They just, they left and ended up going to WWE and everything. So we already know how that went. But I don't want to say Bullet Club, but they came out with Bullet Club. Come on, Omega had the freaking Halloween Bullet Club t-shirt out there, okay? So it is like, a lot of people say this too. It's a Bullet Club reunion. You can't really say that when the Bullet Club is still here. It's just mostly in New Japan now. It was already in New Japan to begin with. They had it first before it started expanding around the world and whatnot. But the Bullet Club's already here, so it's not like they ever left. Okay, these are just members that used to be in the Bullet Club. It's just kind of funny that Kenny's somewhat trying to be the leader of it again. I'm like, dude, weren't you kicked out of it? And then, like I said, the whole Civil War thing happened, and the Elite just kind of like, oh no, we're not gonna fight with Bullet Club anymore, because they kind of ruined that whole Civil War thing, and it ended up not being because we knew they were leaving after that. So it's just kind of Bullet Club, okay? So that's what's kind of funny to me about it sometimes. But this was a great 6-man tag to end off the show. I gotta say, Moose was killing it out there, man. This dude was doing freaking Spanish flies and stuff you don't even see from Moose, doing freaking moonsaults out there. I enjoyed this, okay? I really did. I almost didn't really think who was gonna win with this, but kind of going near the end of this whole match, Omega and Swan going at it. Or what Omega, I know he went for a B trigger onto Swan, then basically tried to get him into the One Wing Angel, but Swan came back, hit him with a poison rod, then hit him with some kicks and whatnot, trying to go back for Omega. But Gallows and Anderson got in there, and they took down Rich Swann with a magic killer. After that, Omega basically went for the pin, but Moose stopped them. pretty much no selling the V trigger in. He came back with a couple more onto Moose and Rich Swann, and then hit the One Wing Angel onto Rich Swann and pinning the Impact Champion. So, yes, the AEW World Champion pinned the Impact World Champion right here. And even Matt Striker said, let that sink in as, Omega, Gallows and Anderson, and Don Callis ended up celebrating before the show went off the air. So, a very fun six-man tag. Some would say a bit spotty out there, but this was very enjoyable. I'm almost surprised that Rich Swann took the pinfall here, but I know they're trying to put Kenny Omega as the belt collector, so this is possibly a way to get a match between Swann and Omega in the future for the Impact World Championship. Now, I'm sure people are going to say, what is Moose going to do? Some people actually thought Moose was actually going to turn on the group so he can, mess with Rich Swann to get his title shot for that belt. So I'm not really sure what's going to go on that. Or will Moose even be showing up on AEW at some point since Don Callis is making that offer to him? Because he didn't take the pinfall, or even Chris Sabin didn't even take the pinfall, but the champion was pinned, no. Now, I know some people already question this partnership and whatnot between Impact and AEW. I've already questioned it myself. I feel like Impact's kind of getting the short end of the stick from this because, we've seen AEW just get on this show every week between, Tony Schiavone and Tony Khan, just basically burying them every week, which unfortunately a lot of this stuff is actually true. They are saying it about Impact with these paid advertisements, but we have not seen Impact do any type of advertisement on even AEW could at least try to promote this pay-per-view for tonight. They could have did that, okay? But they didn't even do it. Yes, we know Gallows and Anderson and Don Callis end up being on AEW and everything, but it is kind of crazy that come on, I don't think anybody knew Omega and them were really going to lose right here. Also, I knew they were going to have Kenny Omega lose, especially in his first match on Impact, but you're still pinning the world champion of another company, almost somewhat making them look like scrubs in a way, too, okay? This is like one of these wait-and-see things. We'll see where it goes or where it's going to go into. Like I said, I don't want to think Impact's getting the short end of the stick of all this, but in some ways, I do believe they are in this whatever partnership or merger. I'm still waiting for half these Impact guys. I'm surprised they didn't show up last Wednesday just to help. Hey, well, just to remind you, we still got a pay-per-view on Saturday, okay? But that was really no mention or maybe some interference or something going on. But this was still a fun main event match to watch, okay? I did enjoy it. But, you got to question some of these things to where is this going right now and who's getting the bigger end of this, okay? Because this has really changed the ratings for either show. Yes, in that first week, people were going to pay attention to it, okay? And it was supposed to gain a lot of new fans, which I did believe it did in a certain way, but you still had your trolls. Like I said, I didn't watch it on Twitch TV. I watched this on Access TV, okay? So there's a difference between the chat room there and there, which you can have your trolls come at Impact and everything on, oh, you're still here, blah, 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 and whatnot. But they're probably there for a week, and then they'll just go watch something else. But then again, come on, AEW's ratings haven't really changed also, too. It's not like they're over 1 million again right now, okay? So it's not like it's done anything for, who does it really benefit? Okay, now it's really supposed to help Impact, but I don't know. I'm just kind of questioning some of these things. Okay, you just got to think about it because even I'm like, okay, Impact, you guys could do a paid advertisement on AEW or something. Okay, don't sit there just let them keep burying you. I'm just saying. I know I've already repeated it, but I'm just saying. But still, overall, this pay-per-view was really good. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I think this was a very good pay-per-view. Mostly, the only things I really didn't like on here was maybe the whole Karate Man, Ethan Page thing. I'll admit it was so bad, it was funny type of deals, but in a way, this was the last you'll see of Ethan Page in Impact, I believe. So I don't know why we needed that. Probably the other match I didn't really like on here was I'm about to see because nothing wasn't really that bad on the show. The Matt Cardona thing, you could take whatever you want to take from that. I'm trying to see what was really bad about this show. I think it was a very good show. Okay, Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown, I think they did really good on commentary for their first night. I'm sure a little rough around the edges here and there. D'Lo's new to this, but let's give it time and we'll see where this goes. But like I said, I liked the main event. I actually thought the barbed wire massacre thing was really kind of good. Even though I didn't really care about this feud this much, I actually thought it wasn't that bad of a match. I liked the X Division match for the title. Deanna and Taya was a good match, but I feel like they could have had more time. Something just didn't really go all the way with that. I'm glad Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan became the new Knockouts Tag Champs, so that's something I really did like on the show. The six-man between, Violent by Design and Dreamer, Rhino, and Jake Diener, it was okay, but it was also just to get Eric Young's new crew over and whatnot, and I was glad to see the K again, so it wasn't a bad show. All right, I think it was better than Bound for Glory. I think this was way better than Bound for Glory. Okay, Bound for Glory was one of those up and down things where it was going good and then it was kind of going bad. But tonight it felt a little bit more different, and I think the show ended up being better. Like I said, it was a lot of changes they made, commentary definitely, but there was, I believe, it was a lot of changes to actually make the show better. And to what I've seen tonight, a lot of people did enjoy Hard to Kill. They weren't really sure how they were going to go into this. Some people probably just will say, I'll come back when the main event comes on. That's probably only what they cared about. But to some people that actually gave the show a chance and sat down and watched it, I've mostly seen positive reviews. Couple negatives here and there about this show, which I agree upon, but a lot of also positive reviews for Hard to Kill tonight, okay? But like I said, overall, a very good, probably great pay-per-view, okay? We'll see what happens this Tuesday on Impact and see if they can, keep the momentum going after this show tonight. But other than that, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Hooded90. Check out any other review that is uploaded online right now. Everything, Raw, SmackDown, AEW, Impact, New Japan, any type of review that's online, end of the year review, like I said, over 5 hours of content. If you're not sitting around doing anything right now, you'll get a good listen to this, and you'll get a good listen of the Hard to Kill review that's going on right now as I'm ending this whole review. Okay, so other than that, though, I'm starting to ramble a little from this. So yeah, I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out. I hope you all enjoyed this show tonight. Done.